with Aaron Cow.
I throw balls far. You want good words? Data language.
Talk real sports with a real man.
Come after me! I'm a man! I'm 40!
And now, here's the be-all, end-all, know-it-all of high school, college, and pro sports. Aaron Skinny Cow with the Skinny on Sports.
We're talking about practice, man. I'm the MVP.
And a good Wednesday morning out there. Rainy western Oklahoma. Hopefully everybody got a little piece of the rain so far and enjoy what's going on today with the weather, as everybody needs more rain. It can always use a little extra rain. So hopefully everybody out there listening to us this morning got some of that this morning, and it's going to be off to a great day. Welcome to the Skinny on Sports right here on 98.1 FM, the Sports Animal. Bunch of different topics today. Of course, we got the high school stuff right off the top with what happened yesterday in the slow pitch Class A and Class B state tournaments. The 2A going on today. Starts at 10, running through the entire day, and a bunch of local flavor there. Golf tournaments, girls state golf tournaments starting in all kinds of locations right down the interstate in Weatherford, and then down I-35 way near Ardmore for the 2A. I'll tell you when everybody's teeing off, what you can expect as far as Big Elk TV. Got Gabe Edney on the scene to be able to give us some live reports, some video, and also follow what's going on at that 4A state tournament in Weatherford. NBA playoffs, NHL playoffs. And then did you see maybe the story, the national sports story of the day yesterday?
Embiid winning the MVP?
Nah.
That's not the national story from yesterday?
No, absolutely not.
No, I don't know what you're talking about.
The fight at Bailey Ranch in Tulsa on the golf course. Did you see that?
I saw a tweet.
I got a lot of questions about that we can talk about at the end.
Ridiculous.
We can talk about lots of things there at the end.
Grown men, come on.
It may get a little uncomfortable with a couple of these questions, if you think certain people are listening.
Okay.
225-9698 is the phone or the text line. That's 225-9698. Give us a call, shoot us a text. We can talk about any of those things, whatever else that you might have in your mind. Feel free to chime in at 225-9698 if you're going to be outside the listening area. A couple of ways to stay in touch with the show. Log on to kadsam.com. Download the app. The app's got it all. Radio, Penny News, a brand new edition of the Penny News hit the website last night at midnight, thepennynews.com. Also, Big Elk TV will have updates from the 4A girls state tournament. Of course, baseball tomorrow. You and I were just off the air trying to kind of plan for any and all weather conditions. So we got that. And then also we have Skinny on Sports podcast. If you missed the show entirely, you can go back and check that out anywhere that you find podcasts. We're all over the place there. What's up, Jared?
How are you?
I got to tell you, Jared, my body feels like somebody ran me over.
What happened?
Yesterday, you might have noticed I wasn't here much in the afternoon.
I did. I kept coming because my phone still doesn't work.
Yes.
And sometimes when stuff happens, I buzz you. So I kept coming up to, like, hey, did you see how Hammond won that first round game? Hey, did you see? You're not here. Nowhere to be seen. What happened?
I was in the process of moving.
Oh.
Moving.
Fun.
Still got a couple of things left for this morning after the show.
Have you found anything in your house and that you go, oh, I forgot I had that?
A whole bunch of stuff, and unfortunately we boxed it up.
Now you're going to lose it again.
Yes, Jared, yes. Not you, Jared. Other Jared on the text line, yes, we are moving. We closing today on our house. We still have not found where we're going, so we will be with my mother for a little bit here.
Oh, man, that sounds like we need cameras in the house, like a reality show.
There's times where it can be pretty funny.
I bet so.
So, yeah, we'll be neighbors there for a little bit while we're trying to find where to go, where to move to here. So the great thing about that is I'll get to move all that stuff multiple times.
Again, yes.
Yeah. Shout out Atlanta for having a building. Yes.
I was going to say, you have a storage?
Yes.
You got a place to go?
I can't believe I can't believe, and we should have our tails kicked. We being me, Wyatt, and Kara. We've almost completely filled that building up. And when I first got there, I was like, "Oh, this is way too big." But thank you. And now, after yesterday, like, holy cow, we may not have. Do we have enough room for the rest of the stuff? It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I can't. Anyway, that's just what happened. So
I have found.
Thanks, Scott. Remember, the real soreness doesn't hit until day 2.
Yeah.
I know. That's what's worrying me.
Last time I moved was 8. Yeah. A little over 8 years ago was when we moved to the house we're in now, our forever home. And I have found that I just, once the process got further into the process, I think, I don't need this anymore. I start tossing more stuff.
Man,
I was like, I don't want to. I'm done with this thing. I'm done. I don't need this. And just throw it away.
It is funny you say that because about the third trip over here with a trailer full of stuff, I got to thinking, okay, what's left? And at that point, I was like,
yeah,
let's move on.
It's time to move on. Yeah.
Let's just move on.
Yeah.
But anyhow, that's where we got to.
Oh, good. Good deal. You know, I discovered a...
Thanks for the help, by the way.
Well, I was working. I had to make sure somebody kept this place running.
Yeah. You didn't do a very good job of corralling the beast that returned
That
this
guy
week.
over
Yes. Holy cow. I got back about, well, I was here at you take a half day off and it's still at work at 9:45 at night having to do the logs. But anyhow, and I thought,
yeah,
it was a nice couple weeks.
Well,
when I checked my email. Anyhow,
I discovered a superpower.
what is that?
So last night, outside.
This is exactly what happened. Jared was outside spraying his yard.
Uh-huh.
And he saw Will and me pull up in the trailer, and all of a sudden he was nowhere to be found. That is true. That's exactly right. Like, whoop!
He's like Homer Simpson going back into the bushes.
Dinner time. Kids, get in. Get in the house. Lock the doors before somebody asks.
Oh, that's good. I'm outside. We had practice, and
shout out Will. He did great.
He helped you out.
Oh yeah, and some other guys.
Good job, Will.
Justin and Jesse, I think, if I remember right, they were great.
He corralled a posse for you, gathered up a posse for you, and helped you out.
JP did. Justin Passmore, appreciate him too. Anyhow, go ahead.
I'm outside, and it was beautiful last night. By the way, that was the time of year to be moving because of this. If it's not raining, it's not 102 outside. It's pretty good weather. But last night it was beautiful, and I got like this. I smelled something. I'm out. I kind of look around. I take a big sniff, and I smell. And immediately my brain said, "It's gonna rain tonight." And then guess what happened?
It rained.
It rained.
Yes.
I think I'm the rain sniffer. I think I figured out that's my superpower.
Oh yeah.
I can tell, and it's been a while because we're not used to smelling that rain, right?
Easy there, Bill Paxton.
I think
Once
no.
you bend down
you
start rubbing the dirt in your
Rubbing the
fingers,
dirt.
thinking, "Oh, we better head north."
Going green, greenage. And then at 3 a.m., letting the dog out. That dog controls me at home.
No.
And 3 a.m., and then he's doing his thing, and then I hear little thunder, and I see some lightning off to the east, and I think that rain's coming somewhere. And sure enough, about a couple hours later, it was raining. Here we are.
I woke up at like 2:15, and I could see some lightning.
Yeah.
Out the window.
Yeah.
Thought, where's that at? And I looked, and it was still clear out in the Texas Panhandle, just kind of making its way from the north. It kind of came in that way, but yeah. Anyhow, so I'm sore.
Well, good. I mean, that's a good sore, though. Maybe. Who knows? From the
Stick your ear to the ground. Oh, fantastic. Hey.
I'm in native Oklahoma, and there might be a chance I am.
Maybe you are.
I don't know. We are.
Physicals, Elk City Athletics. coming up on this is for next year. If you're going to play school sports, you have to be there. You have to have a physical. And that included, what it was yesterday we were talking about band, cheerleading, football, baseball, basketball, cross-country, track, wrestling. Is that it? It's getting close to it.
I think that's it.
The golf. Anyhow, 8 o'clock, or I'm sorry, May 8th, which is Monday, 6 o'clock to 8:30 at the Pioneer Center Gym. That's where you can go get that done for next year. That's Monday, May 8th, 6 o'clock to 8:30 next Monday for physicals. If you're an Elk City athlete, that is middle school, that is high school, that's everybody. Get that done on Monday. All right, Jared, it was a great day until the very end for a couple of Highway 34 rivals.
What a run. What a run.
I don't know the answer to that question, Sam. We were talking about that off the air. It's not on the list. Anyhow, Hammond and Leedy both were able to make their way into their respective state championship games. It's odd to see those two teams not in the same class in whatever they're doing. But with the way the slow pitches broke up, Leedy was in Class B, Hammond was in Class A. Both of those teams played for state titles. You mentioned Hammond got there via a 9-7 win against Bennington. Mariah Espinosa walked it off with a 2-run bomb in the bottom of the 7th inning after Hammond really controlled it. I think they were ahead 7-3 at one point. Bennington tied it up. Espinosa goes deep for a 2-run shot to walk it off there in the quarterfinals. Then in the semifinals, more of a shootout as Hammond held off Stewart 13-12. I think that was, I get them kind of mixed up. I can't remember if that was the game where they left the bases loaded in the 7th, or if it may have been the Leedy-Caney game that went that way. But anyhow, Hammond wins 13-12, but then they just ran into a buzzsaw that is the Red Oak Eagles, Mike Wilson's Red Oak Lady Eagles, 16-3 winners over the Lady Warriors. But, man, what a year for Hammond girls athletics, a gold ball in basketball, silver ball in slow pitch softball.
Yeah, that was it was fun to watch him yesterday, and shout out to our guy Ed and his daughters. I think Emma Crabshaw had a home run in the semifinal, maybe even a grand slam. But they're that was a nice run from them. They're kind of like that momentum team. They had a lot of momentum going into the playoffs, kept it going, got all the way to the state. I mean, hey, be happy with getting all the way to the final game and bringing home hardware. That's an accomplishment.
No doubt about it. The Leedy Lady Bison in Class B cruised past Mountain View Gotebo 8-1 in Game 1. Then just an absolute slugfest against number 1 Caney in the semifinals. There was times where I'd look and I'm like, all right, they got this under control. Then look back and go, uh-oh, this isn't good.
I was watching. Yeah.
It was just kind of back and forth. And I think Caney left the bases loaded in the 7th. It was
base
one
loader
of the,
or 2 on. I can't remember.
It was one of those two games where, but in a slugfest, and then you have to get the outs, and they did. So I know Leedy Cow was that they're running together watching, but I think Leedy left the bases loaded twice in that game. Still put up 18. So they made the finals against Whitesboro. Unfortunately, a silver ball going to Leedy as well, as Whitesboro defeats Leedy 15-5. Former Hammond coach Peyton Walker down there at Whitesboro, taking home the first state title in any sport in Whitesboro school history with that slow pitch state title yesterday. But congratulations to both Hammond and Leedy on great seasons, great finishes, silver balls in the slow pitch softball.
Very cool. That's very. We had a feeling there's going to be well represented. What Western Oklahoma's be well represented over there at Hall of Fame Stadium, and they were.
And now today, get ready for more of that, as 2A scheduled to get going at 10 this morning. All 4 quarterfinals will be at 10 o'clock. Shattuck and Central High, Union City and Cyril, Canute and Sterling, Woodland and Binger-Oney. So the Canute Trojanettes with a chance to make their mark on the 2A state tournament. It's when you look at the records, you look at the schedules, a bunch of those teams have played each other. A bunch of them have beaten each other back and forth. So it ought to be a wild shootout up there at Hall of Fame today.
Yeah, should be. It should be a lot of fun. I'm hoping that this weather, looking at the radar, if it I hope it doesn't affect Oklahoma City. There's rain coming that way, but it looks like it's kind of breaking up over Mustang and maybe could even stay south of Hall of Fame Stadium. So hopefully we get them all in and see what happens.
Yeah, 10 o'clock for the quarterfinals. Both semifinals will be at 1 o'clock, and then the championship game there in 2A is at 4 o'clock. Canute's side of the brackets, Canute and Sterling, and also Woodland and Bingeroni, so a possible semifinal with Bingeroni. On the other side, obviously, Shattuck and Central High, Union City, and Cyril. So that'll be fun to follow here today, as it was yesterday. I mean, I was going back and forth. Just it was a lot of fun to kind of watch the way that all those games transpired throughout the day with Hammond and Leedy. Hopefully, it'll be just the same way with Canute today. Maybe just that one extra win for the Trojanettes.
It was so funny last night after practice, and we're telling the girls, "Hey, if you're going tomorrow, go root on the girls." Da da da. And a couple of them were like, "It's not the same softball like we play." The coaches kind of looked at each other and said, "Well, yeah, but it's great for defense, and that's big if you can get outs, and because that ball is still moving just as fast as it is in fast pitch when it comes off the bat." So, but still, softball, and state titles are state titles, no matter how you get them. So it's going to be big time.
Yeah, it'd be a lot of fun there with the slow pitch. Then also a first round of girls golf state tournaments starting today. Class 4A over at Prairie West in Weatherford. We will have some highlight videos, some updates of scoring throughout the day. Gabriel Edney is in the house over there at Prairie West. Teeing off first, Elk City player ought to be teeing off right now. So here's how the tee time's set up today at Weatherford. Off of number 1, 9:15 through 9:45. What that means is the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. They're tee timing. Elk City's playing with Fort Gibson and Sulphur. So the 5 bag goes off at 9:15. The 1 bag will go off at 9:45. I think Gabe's going to have kind of a preview of the day at 10 posted on BigElkTV.com. Here's what you got to do. It's not going to be on the front page, right? You got to go to BigElkTV.com, click the golf tab, and that's where you'll be able to find those highlight videos there. So like at 10 o'clock, kind of a preview. Hey, here's what's going on. Here's what we'll be doing, and then start with some stuff, with some actual highlights and things at 11. I think is what the plan is there. So you can check those out. They're kind of top of the hour or somewhere around there close with some highlight videos from the 4A girls state golf tournament. So it's as I mentioned, Elk City, Fort Gibson, and Sulphur teeing off 1, 9:15 through 9:45. On the opposite side, across the street, on the par 3 10th, it'll be Clinton, Hilldale, and Class and SAS in that same time frame, 9:15 to 9:45. Off of number 1, the second wave, 9:53 to 10:23, Bishop McGinnis, Cushing, and Plainview. Off of 10, Ada, Weatherford, and Tuttle, 9:53 to 9:20 or 9:53 to 10:23. Excuse me, there in 4A. Now also down in Class 2A. At Falcon Head Golf Resort in Bernieville, which we decided was kind of west of Ardmore, south and west of Ardmore, kind of down near the Red River. Got a bunch of different individuals and teams going at it there at Falcon Head. So already teed off was individual Birdie Brown of Cordell. She's a freshman. She qualified for the state tournament as an individual. She teed off at 9 o'clock off number 10. Just a couple minutes ago, Harley Schoaf of Shattuck and Gabby Clayton of Burns-Flat-Dill City teed off number 1 at 9:08. Then the teams will start. Off 1, the first wave is Turner, Hooker, and Pawnee. Everybody, unless something crazy happens, Jared, do you have any idea? Do you know about Turner?
No.
They are 2-time defending state champions.
Okay.
And at a bunch of these tournaments throughout the year, their second team, their second 5, beat everybody.
Wow.
No, I'm
what a
like,
program.
They might be the best girls golf team in the state, regardless of class. They've
That's
won 2 in a
impressive.
row. Yeah, it's amazing. You're not going to believe the scores they shoot. Like around, you just trust me. It's anybody. You don't want to say because they have to go out and do it, right?
Mm-hmm.
You got to play. It's anything can happen. All those cliched lines that we know, right? Everybody's playing for second. and here's the problem. I mean, and listen, and everybody knows it, right? I mean, it's no secret. Like that. I mean, that's just how awesome and dominant they are. I mean, they just, like I said, going for 3 in a row. Major favorite to do that, but you still have to do it. And so everybody else,
play.
You got to play. You got to go shoot the scores that it takes to win. So the teams that will be trying to chase them down. Moreland, Oktaha. Is it Oktaha?
I've always said Oktaha.
Oktaha and Crescent tee off 10 in the first wave. Then in the second wave off 1, Community Christian Empire and the Mangum Lady Tigers. And then off 10, Tishomingo and the Merritt Oilerettes are making the state tournament again as a team. And they will play with Tishomingo and Kansas. They'll tee off number 10 at 9:53. Do they carry pencils with erasers? I have no idea. I just know that they dominate.
It's a little hard to
you'd be shocked in girls
fudge
golf.
the numbers.
You'd be shocked in girls golf.
Really?
Yeah, you'd be pretty surprised.
A lot of eyeballs would know that hey, that's not right. You took a 4 there. You didn't take a birdie.
Yeah, you'd be surprised.
How could you feel good about yourself doing that?
You wouldn't, but I'm just telling you.
Okay.
It's not out of the realm, even at the state tournament. It is not out of the realm of possibility.
Shame. If that's the case.
I'm not accusing anybody of anything.
Okay.
I'm just telling you.
Well, a texter is. I'm just.
Nah, he's not accusing anybody.
Okay. Implying?
No, just said either they're good or they have pencils with those erasers.
Okay.
Yeah, they're pretty awesome. It reminds me of Plainview had a team like that a couple years ago where they were shooting, right around 300, which is 75 apiece. And every one of those girls went and played college golf at a pretty high level. Turner the same way. Turner had former SWAS player and coach Jaron Rainey. That's where Jaron's from.
Okay.
It's from Turner.
Turner.
That's right. Do you have a senior?
No, I don't.
I don't either.
I have a 3rd grader.
I've got a 6th grader.
I don't even want to think about that.
But listeners probably have seniors, some of them. KECO FM is hosting the 2023 Senior Photo Showcase for high school seniors and their families. Let me ask you this. When you read that, and it says 2023 Senior Photo Showcase, does that not imply to you that it has to be one of your senior pictures?
I guess. I might have misinformed a listener yesterday.
Then it says to enter, seniors must submit their best senior photo.
Okay.
Or photos to the online photo gallery. You're not the only one misinforming, I can promise you that.
Okay. Well, my apologies to the listener. I've looked at these pictures, and you're
Do
right.
they look like senior photos? The ones I've seen look like senior photos.
Yeah. Now there's some jokesters who are submitting silly ones, but looking at the votes, they're not really getting much traction, anyways. The senior photos look great. I mean, there's a lot of really good ones. Panel photos and then really creative ones, out in the lake or hanging from a basketball hoop or whatever in the library, whatever. I like that about senior photos because it reflects what they were in high school.
It's kind of your own personality.
Yeah.
It's not a cookie cutter deal.
Yeah.
This isn't 3rd grade photos anymore.
But there's nobody stopping you from posting an action shot from a game or something. But I'm just going to tell you, it's probably not going to get much votes compared to these other professionally done senior photos.
Okay.
Just a little insider info.
The senior photos are the ones getting the votes. How do you submit those? Well, you just go to the online photo gallery at kecofm.com, post it there. Once you get it posted, friends and family can vote for their favorite photo. The winner will be the one that gets the most votes. And that person will receive a steak dinner to, Simon's Catch. Seems like a worthy reason to submit a senior photo, doesn't it, Jared? I wouldn't mind a free dinner from Simon's Catch, steak dinner.
There's a lot I'd do for a free dinner from Simon's Catch.
I work here for one every year.
That is true. I missed out because of the dang flu. I was so mad.
You weren't here last year? You weren't there last
year? That flu. When I got the flu, I went home early that day. And boy,
that's right. I remember that now.
Behind.
You weren't there. Well, I was.
My wife was like, of all the days.
Yeah, thanks, Jared.
Like, well, you can go on without me. Be my proxy. Be there for me.
No one was there with me either, so she could have sat there by me.
There we go. No, Simon's catch. Yeah.
It's
Seems like a pretty
delicious.
I mean, this is all you got to do. Just upload a photo. Or more than one or whatever. Pretty easy. Pretty
easy deal.
Pretty
it really is. The risk versus reward is way better on the reward side than the risk side.
Yeah.
On this one. Also, now let's move on. NBA playoffs. Last night, the Knicks even up the series with the Miami Heat. After stealing game one, Jimmy Butler did not play for the Heat, who has just been on a heater. See what I did there?
I saw what you did there.
Just making sure you were noticing.
I noticed.
111-105. Miami looked like they were kind of in control of this one, even without Butler. Up 6 with like 7 minutes to go. And then probably the play of the game, Jalen Brunson hit a 3 as Bam Adebayo ran over Isaiah Hartenstein on a screen, which led to a 4-point play for New York, cut the lead to 2. And then on the next possession, Brunson hit a fadeaway jumper to tie it. 6 points just in the blink of an eye. And from there, it felt like New York had kind of gained enough traction, and they did, to win 111-105. But if you're the Heat, I think you feel good about getting out of New York with a split. And you played really well without your main guy. Jimmy Butler's been as good as anybody in the playoffs so far. But Caleb Martin, Bam, Gabe Vincent, and then Max Strus. Who are these guys? Who in the world are these guys? And
Is this the D League?
Yeah,
or
I know, but they were awesome last night.
Whatever it's called.
So was Brunson, 10 of 19, 6 of 10 from 3. He had 30. Julius Randle was back on the floor for New York with 25 and 12, also 8 assists. So almost 2 guys with triple-doubles. Josh Hart had 14, 11, and 9. New York was clearly the more desperate team. They had to win that game. You do not want to go to Miami down 2-0 after dropping the first 2 at home. They didn't. They have a split, so I think we've got a series.
But Miami got the split,
Yep.
and that's what you always want if you start a series on the road. That's what you always are told. Get the split. If go for 2, obviously, but if you can get the split, then you have a lot of advantage coming your way. But yeah, we got a series now, and I was kind of hoping we would. I want to see. I mean, let's face it, the NBA is a lot of fun when the Knicks are good. We've said that before. I hope that they continue to I hope this is a good series, and I'm kind of secretly pulling for them.
Yeah, I know. I find myself doing the exact same thing. Like, am I really rooting for the Knicks?
I know. Just kind of out of nostalgia,
But it is cool. It's like listening.
I
listened to a bunch of this game last night, going back and forth. And it was the experience even on the radio. You could tell that crowd was, I mean, it never gave up. And then I was actually in the car when that play happened with Brunson hitting the 3 and Hartenstein running through the screen, getting the and one. Then Brunson hits the next one, and the next thing you know, I mean, that place, the juice as they call it, was in full effect. Brunson hits some threes, Hart hit a big one on the baseline. R.J. Barrett got things started and then kind of whimpered out, but Jalen Brunson was great. Having Randall back is huge for New York, and now we see, going down to Miami, Jimmy Butler's availability for the rest of the series. I would think because Miami won Game 1, that gave Butler a couple of extra days off, a little bit like what you would see or what you thought you might see with the MVP, but we'll talk about that here in just a second. Then the nightcap, Evil Empire 1 over Evil Empire 2 as the Lakers go into Golden State and win Game 1. Isn't it interesting, Jared? Here in these second-round series, 3 of the 4 Game 1s went to the road team. Miami won Game 1, the Lakers won Game 1, Philly won Game 1. The only team to hold serve at home was Denver against Phoenix. But the Lakers really good throughout. Anthony Davis was that player that makes people respect the Lakers to a higher level than most do, right? Mm-hmm. When you see him 30 and 23 on 11 of 19 shooting, he was 10 of 12 at one point. that's that dominant Anthony Davis, coupled with what LeBron can do, and give their front office tons of credit for reimagining this thing at the All-Star break with players that fit. And it's so interesting that they would ever even make the move they made to get Russell Westbrook on that team, because love him or hate him, but he doesn't fit here at all.
Yeah, just because you're a high name, you're a former MVP, who played at high quality basketball, thinking, well, we can duplicate that here with these guys. You see that a lot, that you bring guys in and it just doesn't fit. It doesn't work. We saw a lot on the East Coast, in Brooklyn, Philly. They kind of have a mix and match sometimes to get the right fit. And Westbrook looks like even though Clippers are done, looks like he might be the right fit with the Clippers, and I kind of hope he stays there to kind of rejuvenate his career. But yeah, kudos to the Lakers. And everyone forgets, and I know there's always going to be an asterisk, and people don't even call it a real title, but the bubble year was the Lakers title, okay? That's not too far, that wasn't too long ago. And this is the same two big corner pieces are still there.
Yeah.
And that's why I've been kind of high on them. When they made those trades, they played really good basketball down the stretch. That's continuing against the defending champs, at least early here in game one. I'm still kind of high on them too.
They look. I mean, when you watched that game last night, you kind of were trying to figure out how Golden State could win, but you may not get that from Anthony Davis every game. That's the problem, because in the series before against Memphis, he was great a couple games, and then 3 of them he had less than 16 points. Well, if they only get 14 out of Anthony Davis, then the Warriors are more than likely going to win those games. But, man, when he goes for 30 and 23 and an efficient 30, the way it was last night, that's when you go, okay. I mean, because you kind of laugh at people, right? I mean, Western Conference Finals, maybe not, just because of what you saw in front of them. Thinking, okay, if they get the Kings, they haven't been in the playoffs in 20 years. Can they beat Memphis without Ja or without a healthy? I get it. Then you get to that level, and you go, okay, the gig is up. Mm-hmm. It doesn't look like it. It now looks like, wait a minute, can the Lakers really win it all? I'm not going to say no, but it's so dependent, and it used to not be this way. It used to be dependent on LeBron. It's not.
No.
It's solely dependent on Anthony Davis. And Anthony Davis's availability and Anthony Davis's want to. Some games it just looks like he's there. Because I promise you, the next game, with the the split in hand already going into game 2, it's set up for an Anthony Davis clunker, right? And then you go, which one is it?
Right.
Where he's just not engaged, and it doesn't look like he wants to be there. But, man, when he does, last night was awesome. He was just awesome.
And it feels like the high point scorer for Golden State had a bad night. Steph Curry with 27 points.
Yeah, he didn't.
Compared to what he did in Game 7 against Sacramento.
He shot it great from behind the arc.
He
but
did,
boy,
which
he
is
didn't
normal, right? I mean,
arc.
we're just always, okay, yeah, he hit another one from out there. But and so that same almost could be applied. Is Golden State, so that's the question. Do they go by way of how Curry goes?
Gosh, they made 21 threes. Here's the problem for Golden State. They got beat on a night. They made 21 threes. Shot 40% on 53 attempts. That's pretty good shooting.
Yeah. Draymond was horrible, though. I mean, just 6 points. He was horrible. Only 4 rebounds.
Well, it turns out for Draymond, it's a little bit easier going against Anthony Davis than it is against Sabonis.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anthony Davis is a different animal than Domas Sabonis. Yeah, the Lakers. I mean, it's easy to overreact to one game, and but it's solely because of what he looked like.
Right.
AD was awesome.
And I want to change my answer from yesterday about who we're rooting for, because I love to say I told you so. Not you personally, but everybody, and look smart. I picked the Lakers to get in the Western Conference Finals, so go Lakers.
Oh, my gosh. Mark that. 9:40. 9:40 on Wednesday. Are you going to start loving LeBron? while we're here?
No.
You want to do any
I won't
LeBron
go that
love?
far. I won't go that far.
The other kind of notes, you mentioned it, Joel Embiid is the MVP. Rightfully so, I think. He was great. But have you noticed something? In the aftermath of what Jokic has done here in the playoffs? Now that a lot of the same talking heads who were critical of Jokic winning 3 MVPs in a row and kind of pushed for Embiid to be the MVP, have you noticed the love that Jokic is getting again? Now that the voting's over, now that true feelings can come out, it's like,
I have not.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it has been a Jokic love fest to the point of...
Is this a way of saying they're sorry?
I think so.
For throwing under the bus, for following a narrative that they didn't really want to follow in the first place. Now they're
I think that's a little bit of it. Like,
well,
yeah. So we felt like we had to kind of cut you down to prop somebody else up, and nobody really wanted to do it because Jokic is one of the best players that going right now, and just historical stuff that he's doing, putting up numbers. I think I heard that 35, 15, and 5. Only him, Shaq, and Kareem had done that double-digit times past Shaq. Just crazy stuff that he's doing in the playoffs. But Embiid is the MVP. Now the question is, will we see him, and when will we see him? Report Shams right as we went on the air. Shams Charania saying that things are beginning to look more positive for a return tonight in Game 2, which would be crazy to me if that really does happen. But
let's bring up the old injury report updated 12 minutes ago. Doubtful. Those are hourly, so a lot of Philly fans will probably be crashing the NBA website. Click and refresh on that one.
Here it is. After winning MVP last night during a quick 76ers celebration, Embiid turned to his team and said, "I'm back." Embiid is indeed on track to return tonight in Game 2, barring setbacks. That is from Shams Charania. That was 52 minutes ago. So that's something that another storyline. I'm going to tell you, it's going to be nervous Nellies in Boston tonight, especially if Philly gets off to a good start. Those fans, after what happened to the Bruins,
oh my goodness,
that historic collapse of the Boston Bruins,
Boston could burn into the harbor.
There will be some nervousness going on in Boston tonight if Philly starts out on a little bit of a run.
Yeah, I was worried about Boston, as a city after the Bruins went out.
The most wins, the most points in the regular season ever. They were like 65-12.
I mean, I know. And it got to a point where I was like, this Stanley Cup is, I mean, you mentioned Turner, you were playing for second. That's what I felt like these playoffs could turn into. And then in one night when Boston goes out and the defending champs go out, I thought, man, this could be wide open.
I heard Jim say this, and when he first said it yesterday, I thought, huh?
It is wide open.
And then when you start looking at the numbers, he said it's one of the biggest upsets in sports history. I thought, oh, really? But yeah, the historic season by the Bruins to just get eliminated in the first round. And maybe that's it.
No, did anybody ask them the Giannis question? Was this season a failure?
Here's what's interesting. In all 4 major sports, the best regular seasons of all time, nobody's won the title.
That is interesting.
The Bruins, the 73-9 Warriors did not win the title.
Right.
The 16-0 Patriots. Now, there's a little bit of a semantics there because they played more games than the undefeated Dolphins. So they technically do have the better regular season record because they had more wins. The Patriots didn't do it. And then the Mariners in 2001, 116-46? They didn't. So none of those historic regular seasons, none of them led to a title.
So when my Rangers are going for the win record, they should probably pump the brakes.
Yeah, I mean, I say that, and at the same time, right before the Warriors, the 72-10 Bulls did win, but that's not the case anymore. Very interesting. NHL playoffs. You think Boston?
I fell asleep, man.
You think Boston wins tonight?
Even
right
when
quick?
when it went to the overtime intermission, I can't. I got to go to bed.
You think Boston wins tonight? Game 2, the Celtics.
Oh, basketball.
Yeah. They're like a 9-point favorite.
Yeah, it's all dependent on Embiid, right?
I think Boston blows them out.
I can't give you an answer right now. You think Boston blows them out?
Yeah, we see this all the time.
You're right. On those,
you know what I'm
they
saying?
bounce back game 2 at home. Yeah.
The other teams already has one foot on the plane, or in this case, maybe even the train, going from Boston to Philly. Yeah, I think Boston wins this one handily.
Yeah, I agree.
Controls it.
I agree.
They have to win. They're way more desperate to win.
I agree. Hard to see Harden have another night like that, especially if it's him without Embiid. They're never going to tell you if Embiid's going to go or not. You're never going to get that
until you see it.
I mean, at best, you're going to see game time decision.
In NHL, Seattle, the Kraken, win 5-4 in
about
overtime.
Blew it. Did you keep tabs on that game?
No,
that's about the time I was able to sit down because thank goodness for West Coast games, right? And they were up by 2 goals going into the third, and they gave it up, and it was tied 4-4. And they about blew it. No, it was in Dallas, but it's still a late game. It was still a late game. And when it went to the overtime, I said, I got to go to bed. I was tired. And I found out they went to double overtime. Is that right?
12-17 into overtime. Yanni Gourde.
Okay.
However you say that. Gerard. I don't know. Anyhow, he scored. Joe Pavelski for Dallas. Netted all 4.
All 4 goals.
He's the oldest guy to ever do that. 38 years. 295 days. He's the oldest with 4-goal game in playoff history.
We need a new rule on this show.
Richard.
New rule on this show. If they're younger than us, we don't call them old.
I didn't call him old. I just said oldest.
Oldest. Still feels like you called him old. Anyways, that was impressive.
5-4. Dallas loses game 1 to not Colorado. I was reading it. Seattle Kraken. And then also, we mentioned the Bruins in that collapse. Florida, the team that knocked them out, the Panthers, go on the road and win Game 1 in Toronto, 1-0.
Well, if you want a playoff opponent in the Stanley Cup playoffs,
you want Toronto.
What
I look back at that, they haven't won the Cup since like 1966.
I mean, they're not going to win.
Florida wins 4-2 to take a 1-0 lead there in that second-round series. Coming up tonight, for Game 1's New Jersey, Carolina, and then the one that I think I'm looking most forward to, Edmonton and Vegas.
Let's go.
Edmonton and Vegas. The Western.
I'm almost ready to go buy an Oilers cap.
Do it.
Oh, I'm about there.
The Western Conference seems more fun.
It does.
All those games feel like they're and if I can remember watching NHL forever, and they do the blue line traps and all that they finally outlawed. I mean, it was like 2-1, 1-0 all the time. But man, these Western Conference games, it feels like something you have to score 4 to win, which is so much fun. Hopefully, we get Game 7s in both of these West series, and then I personally would like to see Edmonton and Dallas, but we'll see what happens.
Be fun.
But that would be the ones that I would prefer to see those two. Though I know one thing: the Lightning aren't going to win.
They're not in it, are they?
They got beat out.
Yeah.
That's correct.
All right.
They bored me.
Oilers cap. I got you.
They bored me.
I'm on Amazon.
All right. I'm boring you. So let's take a break.
Oh, no. I'm buying. You told me to buy a cap. I'm buying a cap. Waiting for my wife to text me. Don't buy the cap.
Don't do it.
We don't need another cap.
Boy, that is no kidding.
As the purse is in the mail.
Ouch. That was Jared Atha. Roundup for Jesus Rodeo weekend coming up this weekend, May 6th and 7th, Butler Brothers Arena. Free meal Saturday on May 6th at 6 o'clock, 6 and under, mutton busting. We have nightly big screen giveaways, nightly bicycle giveaways. Rodeo starts at 7 o'clock. Great Plains Baptist Association putting it on. It's the Roundup for Jesus Rodeo weekend this weekend at Butler Brothers Arena, May 6th and 7th. Jared, I can't...
Well, a little breaking news.
Okay.
While we wrap up the basketball talk, I don't know, did you see the alert from The Athletic? They're saying Embiid will play tonight.
Yeah, that was Shams.
Is that the one?
Mm-hmm.
So that's what you're referring to. Okay, my apologies. So I guess, but the alert I got from ESPN is confirming that he will play. So,
yeah, it looks like he's going to give it a go.
So I still think it's Boston, though.
Oh, I do too. Almost even more now than I did before.
Even with Embiid.
Yeah. Let's give him a game to reintegrate.
Yeah, is it 100% Embiid?
Right.
Is it still high on the fact I just won the MVP Embiid?
Yeah, and
I don't know if that's
and
even
as
a
a
thing,
team.
but-
As a team, they're like, hey, we won game 1.
Yeah.
I think it's just really hard to win 2 in a row on the road like that.
Yeah.
The other team's desperate. You're in the back of your mind going, you know what? If we don't get this one, that's okay. We got game 1. I can't believe we've made it this far without acknowledging what today is.
May
24 years ago.
Yeah, May 3rd. Yep, that's a day we'll always remember.
Yeah, it's. I was down. I know we've told this story before,
Yeah.
but playing golf. It was our senior year, my senior year, 99. In the regional tournament at Fort Cobb, where everything started.
A little closer than I was.
27 holes. We were on the back 9 of the second round of the regional, and all of a sudden, it was time to go.
Yeah.
And then, so cut it short to 27 holes. And as we were trying to finish it off, I'm not going to tell you it was Val, but I do know it was a Channel 9 storm tracer, was driving right by the golf course and said, hey, get out of here. So we did. I got home, and my neighbor said, you see those tornadoes in Oklahoma City? And I was like, no. And I went in, and right as it was kind of crashed through more. Crazy day.
Yeah. I was mowing lawns, and you're in your own world when you're mowing lawns. You got all that noise around you. And it was in Clinton, and it was gorgeous
Right.
out.
Yeah, once we got home, it was
Western
awesome.
Oklahoma, and had no clue until we were done. That was when I was mowing lawns as a job, and I had no clue until we got home, showered up, and turned on the TV. Because that's when you got your info. You didn't have
there's no
internet.
phones.
Internet was dial up. It took an effort to get online. You didn't have phones. So I turned on the TV and like, what is going on?
Yeah, nowadays we'd be following. I mean,
Oh, you get alerts all left and right.
Yeah.
Text.
it's a
yeah.
crazy. It was a crazy day
Yeah.
24 years
It really
ago.
was.
Crazy day Monday at Bailey Ranch Golf Course in
What
Tulsa.
What happened? I just seen the video with no context. I have no idea.
Okay,
I just
so-
assume there was a rules dispute or something. What
No.
happened? What happened?
There were some guys playing golf, and then some kids that were disturbing them. And so apparently the guys playing golf told the kids, go on back to your house or wherever you came from. You don't need to be here. You're putting yourself in danger. You might get hit with whatever they were doing.
Right.
So they go back and tell their parents, their mothers. Well, their mothers tell their fathers what was said, and next thing you know, here comes old tough dad, going to make a scene. Little did they know that the dads, little did they know that the boys that they were going to go confront were former MMA fighters.
The golfers were former?
The golfers were former MMA fighters. The dads were just normal old dads. So you can tell how that fight went. The dads took a butt whooping
Yeah.
from the former MMA fighters. Couple of questions here, Jared. One, what would it take for you to fight somebody on a golf course?
Well, the honest answer is nothing, because I'm not a good golfer if it came down to a golf thing, and I'm not a fighter. I'm just not a fighter. I have a big mouth, but I'm not a fighter. But if hypothetical answer, it would be somebody that continually probably I've been in a situation where people kept hitting up into us over and over, and our rate of play was fine. It was we were waiting on people in front of us. We weren't hitting up into them. We were being very generous or very patient with them, but we kept getting hit into, and I remember we had to tell them, guys, can you give us a break? So, I don't know. Maybe somebody who, I don't know, man. What would set you off on the golf course? A rules dispute? Maybe somebody fudging the numbers?
That would just be on them. It's probably that. I mean, if somebody hit into you multiple times.
After you,
but I'm the same way. I'm not fighting anybody. I'm 42. I'm not fighting anybody.
No.
And I guess maybe if you had your wife and your kid there, kind of like these poor guys, because I'm gonna. This may step on some toes here, but I'm gonna have to blame the wife and the kids on this one.
Yeah.
For getting their dad's butt whooped.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, wifey. Thanks a lot, kiddos.
Yeah.
Hey, kids and wife. Next time you start bumping your gums at somebody, try not to make it former MMA fighters. Make it some average Joe that's out there pounding beers and just having fun.
Right.
We can figure that out. Not Chuck Liddell. Be nice if it wasn't that guy. The video, they just get destroyed.
Yeah.
Just destroyed.
Yeah,
Try not to fight. Try not to get me in a fight with former MMA fighters, if at all possible. Yeah. That'd be nice. Now here's the last question. I want you to think in your mind that you were one of those dads that just got obliterated in a fight on the golf course. Put yourself in that situation, and then describe to me what dinner's like that night.
It would be very awkward. But if my kids are at the table, I'd probably try to keep my mouth shut.
Okay.
Because really, it's not the kid's fault. It's the mom who said, you need to take care of this.
Yeah, I think there was a little trash talk by the moms,
But it would be a
too.
very tense, cut the tension with a butter knife type of feeling around that dinner table. I'd be looking at I wouldn't even be looking at my plate, just looking at my wife. Like, you got to be kidding.
Would this be grounds for
Through
you?
my black eye.
Yeah. You have a ribeye on one eye, not cooked. Would this be grounds in your mind after you took the butt whooping for you to be able to, in your mind, could you just say, you know what, kids and wife, you'll stay here. I'll go to friends all by myself.
Maybe.
Yeah, this has been a common theme on the text line. Quit jacking with cauliflower ear jacked up guys.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
That should have been the first sign. Like, whoa, wait a minute. You know what? My wife was kidding. Sorry about that, bud.
Right. Want a beer?
Problem is, I think the wives are still bumping their gums at them.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't. Gosh, I would have a hard time being civil. I'll tell you that much.
Have you seen that? It's on one of the Jackass movies where they're hiding in the bushes with an air horn.
Yes, I have.
That might, I think, get you going if they continue to blow the air horn in your backswing.
It'd be funny.
Me, I'd be like, hey, listen, there's nothing you're going to do that's going to screw up my game even more. So blow the air horn away. But for guys like you,
it would be
really
jarring
good,
at first. I don't know if the very first you just haul off and smoke driver into trees, trying to hit them. I don't know if that makes sense.
That was so funny to me, though. They were laughing about it. You just egged them on.
So, I think in that situation, it's hard to do, but a lot of times if you just ignore it, it stops.
Yeah.
Because one of the things that is upsetting, there's no doubt, and people, if they know what they're doing, they can time it just right where it messes you up. If you're listening or you're paying attention, and that is either driving across the dam or driving down the highway and beep their horn right in your backswing.
Yeah.
So I know that. And so especially like on number 17 here at Elk City, the par 3 down the hill with the highway.
Yeah.
One, I'm worried about that. Two, I'm worried about hitting their car.
Yeah.
And so a lot of times if there's somebody, especially coming from the south to the north, from behind you, if I hear that, I'll just wait.
Wait for that car to drive by, or truck in most cases.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just kind of, okay, I'm going to wait till they get down the hill. That way I don't hit them or that doesn't happen.
My dad did that to somebody at Crystal Beach, that 9-hole course in Woodward, because it runs along one of those high trafficked roads, He did that thing. That was the funniest thing. I remember as a kid, I was thinking, I don't know if you should do that. Right. They didn't look happy either.
Beeping their horn.
Oh, he waited too. He timed it out. Slowed
That happened to me
down.
with Weatherford one time.
Slowed down. Waited. Then in the backswing.
It's like, oh, really?
The guy stopped and he was yelling something.
Probably can't repeat. Yeah, number 2 and number 4. I don't notice it as much on 15 tee box just because the dam is so close. For 2 and 4, maybe just because you can see them coming. It's like, all right, I'm not hitting.
I remember one time getting frustrated. I was golfing with the guy I was golfing with, and all of a sudden, like 4 or 5 holes, he just gave up, and he was done, and he kept rushing me. He wanted to get off the course. He wanted to go get some post-game drinks, and I was like, I'm enjoying my time. Can you not rush me?
Yeah, this is supposed to take 6 hours, bro.
I'm not in a hurry here.
I mean, golf in Western Oklahoma, it takes 6 hours to play 18 holes.
Yes, it does. Sometimes longer. Depends
Yeah.
how busy the course is.
That's right. A crazy Saturday, it's like 8 hours.
This was in the city, too, so it was packed.
Oh, 10 hours.
On a weekend, yeah.
Maybe both days.
I mean,
It might stretch
I
into
was
Sunday.
I legitimately trying to just play good golf, trying to work on my game, and he was done. He'd go up there, hit, wouldn't look at, barely looked at the ball, just hit the ball, and I'm up there trying to line up my shot and trying to legitimately play a good round of golf, and he kept rushing me. Like, dude, I know you want to go, but I don't.
I can't tell if this is real, so I'm not going to say it, but our long national nightmare might be over.
Aha! Just got the alert, too.
About Jackson
We
Mahomes.
might be leading with this one tomorrow.
Yeah.
But I think it's based off that video that kind of leaked.
With the dude in the back all tied up.
I didn't
Is
see
what you're
that.
talking about?
part.
Oh, that must have been a fake. I just saw one underneath
But
that story.
it was anyways, good, creeper.
All right.
Put that on your IG, Twitter, Facebook account.
All right, Big Elk TV today.
Hey, by the way, we
Girls
already have updates on
Okay.
Big Elk TV, on Girls
Wait,
Golf.
there's already one. Okay, so
Yes.
the preview is up.
It
Big
is
Elk
up,
TV.
yes.
Click the golf tab. Gabe's over there. I'll keep you updated on the first round of the 4A Girls State Golf Tournament all day long.
Canute starting right now.
Canute starting. Shattuck starting. Bingeroni starting. 2A fast pitch tournament going on. We'll have plenty to talk about tomorrow. MVP looks like he's back. Game 2 tonight for Philly. Everybody have a wonderful Wednesday. It's been the Skinny on Sports.
You've been listening to the Skinny on Sports podcast with Aaron Cow. Be sure to hit that subscribe button to get alerts of when the latest podcast is available. Thanks for listening.